If you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles.
Navy now, naval tab, the destroyer. The destroyers unit versus submarines, I mean that makes sense, right? In the past, however, destroyers were a ranged unit, now it is a melee unit, meaning you really need to be on top of the submarine to deal damage, which makes sense, it is the same in real life, right? They are fast, they have a speed of 92, no attack range, so that changed. They are anti-stealth, anti-submarine. Why anti-stealth? Well, because they can hunt down submarines right here. Destroyers are fast ships that are best suited to reveal and hunt down submarines. They should always accompany capital ships to defend them from submarine attacks. Amen to that. You always got players, they make battleships, but they don't put destroyers in there to protect them. Sitting ducks, that's what they are. But we're gonna talk about that later. They deal 8.6 damage versus submarines. They deal a bit of damage versus ships, but not that much. But they can take out land units that are in a convoy. They can uncover stealth units of the same or lower level, and they can only move at sea. I mean, that speaks for itself, right? Submarines. Submarines deal 6.5 versus ships. They are fast also, 59 speed. Submarines can sneak up on their targets and engage in close combat. They are used for hunting transport convoys or in escorted capital ships. Yes, indeed, they are. But they have to avoid destroyers, which can reveal submarines. Pretty logical, right? No surprises there. They deal 6.5 damage versus ships. They can also attack submarines. However, submarines cannot see submarines. So if you want to attack submarines with submarines, you need another unit to reveal them. So that would be a destroyer or a naval bomber. Then we've got the cruiser, and these babies, these are my favorite. Why? Because they are very versatile. They are very fast, 68 speed. They have a range of 50, which is the same as an artillery. They have a large view range of 72, which is the same view range as an armored car. They have ranged attack, but they are also anti-air and they are also anti-ship. So you can use them to attack land units, ships from range. You can give air cover with them. They are the most versatile unit on the high seas. Cruisers are ranged ships that serve multiple rules. They are a mix of battleships and destroyers, but their biggest strength is providing anti-air defense to other vessels. They can attack all land units with 1.5. So if you got 10 of them, you can wear those land units down. They attack planes with 6 hit points. Those are just plain destroyers. They can also stand their own against ships with 4 hit points and even against submarines with 2.3 hit points. Those ships are the best there are. And honestly, between you and me, if you talk in equal terms of resources, so if I have the exact amount of resources like another player, but I produce cruisers and the other produces battleships, in terms of equal resources, cruisers will always win. Just food for thought, you do with the advice as you please. Alright, and then we have got the battleships. Much talked about, much feared. Let's talk about these babies. They deal 7.5 damage against ships. Those babies, they are deadly, but they're slow, only 50 speed. They have a high attack range of 70. That's 20 bigger than cruisers. However, they have a smaller view range, only 54. The ranged units, both anti-land and anti-naval. Battleships are slow ships with a large range. They can bombard fleets and shorelines from a safe distance. They are best used against ships, land units and buildings, but need protection against submarines to operate successfully. You can add in there that they also need protection against naval bombers. So basically, battleships are very expensive. And not only that, you need to stack them together with destroyers and cruisers. So they're not that very efficient. Sometimes it's just better to stack 10 cruisers together with one submarine and sail the seas like this. But they're very good. You're gonna see why. 3 damage versus land units. That's double as much as cruisers. Deal 7.5 versus ships, but they're very weak against submarines. They also deal 3 damage against buildings and can even knock down province morale. But you need to protect them very well. So if we have 10 battleships, it's protected by 10 destroyers, 10 cruisers. It becomes a very costly operation, and one needs to ask himself if it is always worth it. Then we've got the aircraft carrier. Aircraft carrier Lexington class. They are good in defense, nothing special. They have a high hit points, however. They have a speed of 50, which is the same as a battleship. They are mobile airfields, which allows carriers enable aircrafts to operate in areas out of their reach from normal airfields. Each level of these units can hold more aircrafts. They are best escorted by other ships for protection. Simply said, each aircraft carrier can host 2 planes. So level 5 aircraft carrier can host 10 planes. Very simple. Level 2, 4 planes. Level 3, 6 planes. You got the picture. And so they can carry 2 aircraft units. I mean, it speaks for itself. It's not rocket science. And then finally, we've got the transport ship. Transport ship, you don't need to research, you get it for free. However, the more you research these babies, the more you're going to increase the speed and the HP of your units. So you're going to be able to cross those oceans much faster, and you're going to be able to protect them better against an attack because they're going to have more HP. Speak for themselves. If you want to do a large naval invasion with a large army, please always upgrade them, right? So they're very low on the hit points, only 10 hit points, so they're very, very weak. 40 speed, they're vulnerable, that's their own reroll, so be aware of that. Just for example, level 2, you get 15 hit points instead, and 50 speed, okay, so that's 5 hit points more, 10 speed more. It's interesting. Then when you go to level 3, for example, you got 61 speed, 20 hit points. I mean, each time basically you're gonna get 10 extra speed, 5 extra hit points, all the way up to the maximum, which is level 4. And with level 4 you get 25 hit points, 72 speed. This becomes very interesting. Upgrade those babies is my advice.